Okay, good day everybody. How's everybody going? Well, I hope very, very well. Well, what I'm going to do today is something different, something I haven't done with resin. So, just gonna paint something with my oil pastels and then try to cover it with resin, see what happens. Okay, so stay tuned. Probably won't be talking a lot, but I'll put some music on hopefully. We'll see what happens. I might just talk, just see what happens. Okay, off we go. Okay, I had to think there for a second about what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to do a simple little like a sunset theme, maybe over the ocean. This is just a white. I always buy packets of just white and black because when I used to use my oil pastels quite a bit, I used to go through so much white. So this is just a canvas, 30 by 40 centimeters. So you can't see anything happening there right now. So I'm just doing a rough kind of and missing some bits as well, just to tone down the sky a bit. Okay, so I'm speeding up this part now, you know, just for the purpose of the length of the video, not to make it too long. I am missing a yellow in that other set of oil pastels, and I just popped open another one, but I never got to use the yellow. So using a peach color here just to outline where the sun I feel would be, and just going very lightly at this stage, not to put too much color on there. Always go lighter first, and just using my fingers to smudge those colors together. What you can hear is my bird, my lorikeet, just saying hello because she can hear me talking. And this is an orange I'm just applying here. And I had to swap tripods. I'm painting in a different area here because my my resin table is just covered in sticky resin from the painting this morning. So I was doing this on another table using another tripod, but because I had to put the tripod on the table, whenever I was smudging, the whole thing was moving, the table was moving and the camera was moving, so I don't want to make you feel dizzy. So yep, just using that peach color now to blend those that orange with the white and everything together, and tried a little bit of pink up there. Didn't really work, it was too much of a contrasting color. So now going with just a tiny little bit of red, and it's so bright, so I just barely touched the canvas, because the canvas, because it's so fibrous, it acts a little bit like sandpaper when you're using oil pastels, and oil pastels are really, really soft, so they kind of get used up real quick if you're using it on canvas. But it's really cool to blend by using different colors or a white rather than just using your fingers, because you can tone down those colors a little bit. So just adding a little bit more orange, and each time applying a little bit more pressure so that it's a little bit deeper. And I would have liked it if I went further and gone a little bit more deeper in tone, but I didn't. I was just so eager to finish off this piece and then you know, see what happens with resin, and you'll have to watch or fast forward to the end to see what happened in the end. I'm sure that you can anticipate what happened, and I knew, but it's always fun to do these little projects and see where it takes you. And using my fingers now to swipe sideways, just pulling that colour down sideways diagonally, just to give it a bit of a illusion of you know, having being a windy kind of day, and the clouds, kind of the sky always looks a little bit you can kind of see it in the sky, which is always cool. And now just using a deep blue color just to outline the horizon. And because this is a really wide table, and the way I had the tripod set, I had to bend over and paint this, so I couldn't really see what I was doing, and I wanted to have a straight line. So yes, I did measure the sides, the edges, to get the perfect line there, which I ended up having to correct again later on, so it wasn't so perfect after all. So that is a really nice blue, and now a deep green, because you know the horizon always looks darker, and then the colors become lighter and lighter the closer they get to you. So just going with that blue now. It was actually quite fun just using a different medium for a change. I love it. I love you know, a bit of a break from something, because I tend to get bored with the same thing, although I'm doing different styles and techniques, but it's still the same kind of medium, so it's good to have a bit of a break and do something else. So using that peach color just to create a bit of a sandy, like a sand dune there, and a light green for the shallowish water around the sand. And later on I will use a light blue over that green to create a teal kind of turquoise color, which is more appropriate for the water. And now I'm just using a grey oil pastel and drawing some rocks in the water. And then I'm going to use my smudging tool, which you can see there on the right. I've got a thicker one and a thinner one, so I'm using the thin one to just smudge that, and it works like a pen, kind of gives you more detail than just using your fingers. Adding a bit of white, and you can actually see it there. So I'm really pressing that white in, and by doing that I'm able to wipe off some of the color underneath it and just make it white. And just going around and blending some of those colors with the white and the peach, adding a little bit of color, and adding, you know, a little bit of that glow from the sky onto the water. It's not perfect. I'm really rushing here, you know, because the purpose of this is not to show you how to paint a seascape with oil pastels. It's to just do a quick painting and then show to you what resin does when you put it over the oil pastel. So that real fat smudging tool really comes in handy for these big areas, and it works much better than using your fingers, because you can really apply pressure and get the effect that you want. So just going around now and fixing just a bit of colour here and there, you know. It's nearly done. Nearly done. Going to do some water in front of those rocks. Okay, so I did a little bit more. I just cut the video short a little bit, and now I'm applying some of that light blue over that green to give it more of a turquoise shade, and yeah, a bit of white here and there, and that's it. It's pretty much done. Yep, fixing the horizon. Can't have it sideways. No way. It can't be crooked. It's got to be straight. No, it doesn't. Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm back at my regular resin table where I do my resin work. So I've just mixed up a little bit, that nowhere near enough to do the whole thing. Ooh, just noticed that I've cut myself. Oh dear. Anyway, what I'm doing is going to heat up this surface. See that? It really melts. It melts it real quick. And then it dries into like back to normal. So I've got to fix that now somehow. Oh, that's all right, I'll fix it with resin. Okay, let's keep going. So I'm heating up that area, not this area. I just want to see the difference. See what happens when I pour some of it along here over the hot surface. So that's looking good so far, and over here over the cold surface. And then I'm going to just use my finger. I'll do the top bit first and just see what happens there. Is it mixing it? It's actually cooled down. Can't see if I'm picking up any pigments. I don't think so. Yeah, it's real oily. You can see it in this part here. It's going to be interesting to see if it separates. Probably will, but it'll give you some really cool texture. Yep, it's definitely separating. And then down here, if it sits just like that, nice and thick, I reckon it'll be fine. But we shall see. Okay, let's just go, oops, what happened here? Picked up some. Just rub it in like I did over there and see if it does anything. Oh yeah, that's definitely mixing the colour together. So I'm pressing harder and gentler depending on where I'm going. And yeah, it's definitely separating just there. And I knew it will because resin doesn't like oil. But if you put it in a larger kind of in a larger blob and a bigger quantity, it should be fine. And I'm just going to pour this whole thing over it now. And then just play with it a little bit. Okay, so this is pretty thick there and nothing's happening, not separating, or there was separation there, I think you'll still get the potholes there regardless, but it's just another way of doing things. I find it very interesting. Okay, so what I'll do is spread this everywhere, and if I get those bare bits or potholes, then great, because I can use the texture and just create something else. Just wanted to see how it goes. And don't forget, I haven't started playing with the torch yet, so this is going to be interesting to see how it reacts and what happens when I get the torch involved. Just want to cover the whole piece. Definitely doesn't like it there where I was really rubbing it in. Where I heated it up first. Remember, this part I didn't heat up. It's like I kind of released all the oils out of it. Like I said, this is canvas, so it's dipping a little bit in the middle. Almost, wow, it really doesn't like it there. And that's exactly where I heated it up. See if I can pile it up on there. Where I heated up the crayons, or the oil pastels rather. Okay, I know this looks very strange, but it's just a bubble wrap that I decided to cover that painting with. And then hopefully when I pull it off, it'll leave me a nice, interesting pattern. What I'm going to do is go around with my heat gun and just heat up the resin underneath there very carefully, because I don't want to burn anything. So just from above, you know, just go like that. And then stay tuned. Stay tuned. This is going to be interesting. Whatever happens. Might be crap, but it might be genius. You just never know, do you? Thanks for watching. Bye for now.